afternoon. I am Kate. I'm Charles's niece, and I'm very honored to be here today to say a few words from my heart, but also for my family. When I was born, my uncle was 17. It's a magical age where someone is both an adult and still young enough to be incredibly cool. To me, growing up in the 70s, he was the coolest kid in class. He was stylish, he was funny, and he was effortlessly hip. He lived in interesting places, and he drove really great cars.
Of course.
And he always seemed a few steps ahead of the curve. He even managed to get me to eat Brussels sprouts in the 70s, when that was no small feat. But more than being cool, my uncle was someone who lived with genuine purpose. He was on the forefront of organ transplant and donation, a field that demanded both precision and very deep compassion. Watching the way he approached his work, how naturally he cared for people going through unimaginable circumstances, made a profound impression on me as a young woman. So much so, he inspired me to go to nursing school. And while I eventually discovered that I was not equipped with the same level of empathy he carried so easily, I've never stopped admiring his extraordinary gift for helping people in their most difficult moments. At that time, he lived in what I thought was the most amazing place in Atlanta, a condo overlooking Piedmont Park right above one of the city's most popular brunch spots. I remember going to brunch there and thinking, my uncle lives upstairs. He had a knack for finding those best places, and he made everything seem just a little more vibrant. Years later, life came full circle, as it will do. I moved to that same neighborhood just a block away, and every day when I see his old building, I think of him, and of that younger version of myself who looked up at it with such admiration. As he grew older, he traded city life for something quieter and even more beautiful. A home on Paul's Point in Altamont, one of the most breathtaking pieces of land I have ever seen. From the moment I first visited, that place moved me spiritually. My mother lived there for a while, and my son Jack loved to go up on the mountain. After Jack passed away, I went back to that same place to take some of his ashes. My uncle filled the cabin where I stayed with sunflowers from his garden. Not just sunflowers. There were red ones, there were black ones, orange, bright yellow, pale yellow. It was the most extraordinary array of sunflowers I'd ever seen. And they are my favorite flower. And during that dark time, they reminded me I could seek the light. That was one of his greatest gifts. Even in sorrow, he helped me see the beauty, connection, and gave me hope. Just a few months ago, as he was winding down this chapter of his life, I had the privilege of spending a week with him. Thank you, Dana. We had the kind of conversations that are very rare in this life. They were honest, they were tender, and they were profoundly meaningful. We spoke about this life and the next, about love, and about what comes after. I told him that when he began his next great adventure to please say hello to Jack for me, and that I would always be here watching for their signs. The day after Charles crossed over, I got a sign. I looked out of my window towards the condo on Piedmont Park, and there, stretching across the sky from behind the driving club, just over the roof of that building and ending in the building next to mine, there was a double rainbow. I knew it was him, with Jack. My uncle was a remarkable life force. He was curious, he was generous, and he was deeply attuned to the world around him. One of the most meaningful things he ever did was to look back to honor our ancestors. He opened a chest full of family treasures and began to document our history with a lot of care and devotion. He created shadow boxes, gathered photos and records, spent time in libraries, and preserved the stories that might otherwise have been lost. And now that legacy lives on, because amongst the last gifts he gave to me were many of those family history items. It's a tangible reminder of where we come from and how we love and how memory can carry through generations. I will continue that work, honoring our story, our lineage, and Uncle Charles's enduring spirit. I miss him deeply. But I'm also so grateful for the time we shared, for the wisdom he offered, and for the beauty he brought into every space, and for the light he always helped me to find. We will all miss you, Uncle Charles. Thank you for your guidance, your humor, your compassion, and your love. You were one of a kind, and your light will continue to shine through all of us. When I am a memory shining in your dawn, it's not because I stayed forever near, but because I laughed with you, held you strong. And in your growing years, I held you dear. Remember how I cheered you on step by step while your voice trembled and you took the floor? Remember the jokes and the stories we kept, and the silent comfort I offered when you needed more. Though I walk on a path you cannot yet see, my love will linger in your heart and mind. In every sunrise, every gentle breeze, and the lessons you'll carry, the kindnesses you'll find. And when you stand tall and the world sees your shine, look back at our days, our small and great parts, you'll know you weren't alone. You had this heart of mine, rooted in hope and laughter and in loving starts. So go forward with the spark we ignited. Know that in you part of me remains. And when the stars beckon me home at night, I'll watch you soar. I'll smile again. Thank you. At this time, it is my honor to invite my mother up to say a few words.